You know, we learned something today. That Jews are leaders of today. I fully agree. You know, you have NANS, National Association of Nigerian Students. Their leadership has power. So I believe they are leaders of today. Allah Akbar. And thank you very much for that quotation from the Bible to show that Jesus Christ embraced Islam. Peace. Thank you very much for that quotation. The next guest speaker. Okay, introduce our new guests that just came in.
With the permission of the chairman, I would like to humbly introduce the presence of a one-time former commissioner in the Ministry of Local Government and Chieftaincy title, Lagos State, and presently a senator representing Oyo South Senatorial District as the person of Senator Barrister Odufemi Lanlegi. Halan Wamori Ambabi. You are welcome to our midst in peace.
Allah Allah.
We also have more representatives from the media houses. We have in our midst a representative of the Broadcasting Corporation of Oyo State in person of Mr. Fatai Oyedeji. You are welcome to our midst.
I think we want to invite our professor, I'm told, Professor Engineer, the leader of Shafauddin, that's Professor Engineer Olagoke. You're welcome, sir.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We have to thank the Almighty Allah. First and foremost, I recognize and appreciate the chairman and all our frontliners that are on the throne regarded as the high table. I appreciate the Hamadis. You've always been a role model. And that is why I'm here. The very hidden area, which has always been neglected by the three of them, by all religionists. It is the Hamadis that have been able to prove to the world that the social responsibility of religion, except we focus it and it becomes a kind of empowerment for the followers, the religion will continue to be at the grassroots level only. You introduce the building of hospitals, you introduce the building of schools, but the area that concerns me as of now, the areas of the youth, the areas of women, and the areas of religion generally. This is the 21st century. Religion as of now ought to have been able to provide solutions to all these kind of crises we've been hearing about since we were born. But where is the problem? What is the problem? And how do we now ensure that the struggles of our heroes past in religion are never into vain? I must not take your time. I pray that God will continue to strengthen the Hamaris. The speaker, we must try as much as possible to digest and redigest his message. It's a message that can solve even global crisis. Because we are all into problems mainly because we only read on surface the messages of God herein contained in the Bible and the Holy Quran. We are supposed to study. We are supposed to get convinced. We are supposed to ensure that we believe. And we must try as much as possible to work on the belief. When I analyze the problems of Nigeria, I always look into how power has been dichotomized between religious leaders and the politicians. The politicians, you have 70% of the power that can make or mar a nation. The clerics only own mere 30%. But without divine intervention, all struggles are into vanity. And that is why I won't deliver this, because youth and social services, financial to youth restiveness. I don't want to take your time. I will leave it behind so that they do justice to it. It has been a lot of researches, but there is no time. A lot of people are here, and we must. And the guest speaker has even done justice to a lot of things. Principles of jihad. I took time over almost 30 years because I was born into a fully loaded Muslim home. But when I became almost an adult, I abandoned all religions. I became an agnostic. Because there are no role models. Everything is perfect in the Holy Quran. Everything is seemingly perfect in the Holy Bible. What is wrong with the Christians? What is wrong with the Muslims? Which means we have to re-strategize as clerics, most especially in the areas concerning the youth. Don't let them be wasted generation. The parents and the religion, the religious sector, we have a lot of work to do, because today all social agents of civilization, they are broken down. The school is broken down. The religious sects are broken down. The parents themselves, the home, broken down. Then the value system is gone. But whether we like it or not, because we do not want the nation to just collapse, the clerics must strategize and re-strategize. We have to serve the politicians. It's essential. Because whoever comes into any position of power, you are not the one that is going to do the work. Because that position does not belong to you, it belongs to God. You are representing him. So if we have been able to understand God and his holy books, if we are able to digest and conjecture, we will be able to apply the principles of our religion to be able to solve all these intractable problems, most especially that are political. And this is the area where the principle of jihad comes in. Religion ceremony, documentary on interfaith, which had lasted for almost 10 years. You will see the Christian, the traditionalists, and the Muslims there. Safauddin, which I represent, was 30 by January. The account of where we failed, of where we were able to make it, are there. No praises. So that other people that are coming behind will not fall into the kind of potholes into which we find ourselves, maybe because of carelessness or because of no understanding. But above all, because I don't want to take your time, the Holy Quran says, Ya ayyuhal ladhina amanu liman taquluna ma la taf'alun kabura makita indallahi an taqulu ma la taf'alun. That is just it. Let us be practical with whatever we believe in. Let's be practical with whatever education we have been able to acquire or receive. Let's be practical with this religion, because it is through this religion that you are who you are, and the politicians are who they are. And unto whom? Unto God we will all account. So, the Ahmadis, you will continue to grow stronger and stronger. I celebrate with you. Thank you very much.
We are extremely grateful to Alhaji Engineer Professor S. Olagoke. We are partners in progress. You have said it all. If leaders practice what they preach, the problem is 70% solved. If leaders practice what they preach, the problems are 70% solved. Thank you very much indeed. For the dimensions you have introduced, which are very critical, the role of the home, the role of the clerics, the religious leaders, we are grateful for your contribution. Thanks. Before we take our senator, we want to give the national president, Youth Council, the floor, so that our distinguished senator will hear what the leader can. We want our elder to listen to what youths have to say. It's important. National President, National Youth Council of Nigeria. I know he'll be brief.
And okay. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Permit me to stand on the existing protocol. But there's something I noticed in this hall. I think we have been too docile. And I want the youth in the house to stand up. Youth in the house, please stand up. The youth in the house, according to the illustration of our guest speaker, young people are 18 to 40. And another speaker has said something that we have power. The chairman of vocation has mentioned National Association of Nigerian Students, which is also an affiliate of the National Youth Council of Nigeria. So when your president is standing, you must respect your president. I am the president and commander-in-chief of the armed forces of Nigerian youth. Build the youth. And I love this praises of God. La ilaha illallah. Rasulullah. La ilaha illallah. Illallah. Build the youth. You can have your seat now. Now I know I want to talk to the youth, and I want to thank the chairman for giving me this opportunity to speak to young people of Nigeria. Distinguished Senator, it's also a privilege that we're having you here this afternoon. I want to thank the Majlis Qudam, the Ahmadiyya Muslim Youth Organization, for inviting me. It's actually a rare privilege for me to be here today. This is my hometown, Ibadan, Oyo State, and you only brought me back home. And it's a privilege to be working with Majlis Qudam since I became president of National Youth Council in 2010. I remember the past president, Dr. Timei, fully supported me, and I begin to wonder, is Majlis Qudam, is he an academy or an institute? Because I discovered that they speak too much grammar and they know so much. I mean, you are endowed with knowledge. Every member of this organization that I've ever worked with, as the president of Youth Council, they are bundles of knowledge. And I'm so happy that the Amir himself is a professor extraordinary. He has used his wealth of knowledge to manage this program, and he used the power conferred on him to make sure that the distinguished senator is seated while the president of the youth is talking. Thank you very much. I really appreciate every one of us. The future belongs to us, the young people of this country. We cannot run away from the fact that the people that gave us independence, they were as young as we are now when they gave us independence in 1960. But the question we need to ask ourselves as young people of this country is that what are we going to give to the next generation? The professor said our own generation should not be wasted. Probably Professor Shoyinka made a comment sometime and he said his generation is a wasted generation. But are we going to open our eye and make our own generation to be wasted due to religious intolerance? I'm a Christian, I'm a leader in the church, but I have friends right from my university days who are Muslim. We sleep together on the same bed, we eat together, we dine together. And today, because of my position as the president of the National Youth Council, or as the official #1 youth in this country, I relate with everybody without any problem. Yesterday evening, we were at a meeting in Lagos. It's an event, not a meeting per se. And it was purely an Ijaw people that are ruling this country currently. And I see this drum of war coming out and saying that it is our property. The oil belongs to us. And I begin to wonder, which kind of Nigeria are we living? The Boko Haram are there. So many things have been happening in the north, destroying houses, killing innocent people. And as young people, I can say that because it's very clear. Even Quran chapter 2 verse 257, in this inscription, there is no compulsion in religion. And also, I can see clearly also that love for all, hatred for none. That is what Islam preaches. Recently, we are at a meeting in Austria, the Alliance of Civilization, and I could see our own Cardinal Onayeko and the chief imam of Abuja working together. So why are we fighting? What are we talking about? I think the youth has a very big role to play. And I'm challenging every one of us here as young people that we must preach peace. We must have intercultural dialogue. It's very, very important. The speaker has given us a very fantastic presentation today. And if I am in a position to give him a PhD, I think I will do that today. Because I don't know what he actually studied, but he did a very in-depth research, and these are the things that young people need to seek knowledge. With knowledge, you can get to anywhere you want to get to. I want to finally say that if God permits, that I will come here, I will come to the next, which is going to be the 42nd annual convention of Majlis Kudam next year, if I'm still in office, and that will be if God permits. I would also want to be decorated with the uniform of Majlis Kudam. And this is to show that we are together. We are working together. As I'm leaving this place, I'm also going to another National Gospel Student Fellowship Conference going on in Ojo, to also go and talk to them. So I believe that we must work as one. We must build Nigeria, because the slogan of National Youth Council says, build the youth, build the youth. And when the professor was talking, anytime he wants to talk about the youth, he will say youth. When he wants to talk about politicians, he will say, I wonder whether it's only distinguished senator that is a politician here. But I think they are sitting at that side. I was very happy because I was sitting on this side. So I'm not a politician. I thank you for your audience, and I say well done for this wonderful conference.
Stand up for him. Thank you very much, President, National Youth Council of Nigeria. Now is the turn of our elder, Senator Lanleyi, I guess. I'm correct with the name. You're welcome, sir. Thank you for the honor of gracing this occasion. Okay. Just the speaker.
And Mr. Bala Tobi. Ẹ bá mi sọ pé Ọlọ́run tóbi. Ẹ wá bá mi fọba lé. There's Bill. Our youth. Our youth on the wall. The Amarillo, the National President of the Youth Movement Council. Ẹ̀yin bàbá wa, ẹ̀yin ìyá wa. Our jọmọ àti our youth. You know, when I said our youth,
I know what I'm saying. Because being a youth is a thing of the mind. You can be 20 and be very archaic and unprogressive. And you can be 70 or 80 and you can be very progressive. So, as for our youth, you know, talking very seriously and looking at your theme, the challenge of youth restiveness in multicultural, multi-religious society, the prophetic solutions. If one reads the Quran and the Bible, because they are both God-given books, all the solutions, whatever solution, whatever problem you might think of, are in those books. And honestly, I agree that there is youth restiveness. And the youth of Nigeria have every right to be angry. They have every right to be very angry. Because if I look back at my own youth days and the things I enjoyed and the things I was given and the commitment of our leaders and the commitment of our parents, it pains me, makes me so sad to know that now that Nigeria has everything, nearly everything, what the youth are getting is far less, if they are getting anything at all, to what they should get. Incidentally, in Yoruba land, in the southwest, we have no religious problem at all. The head of Lanley family today is Pa Yunusa Lanley. Before him, the head of Lanley family was Chief Samuel Owola Lanley. And the next person, we don't know, might be a Muslim, might be a Christian. I, though a Christian, attended a mosque, a Quranic school near my house because I have Muslim friends. I have friends who are Christians who are married to Muslims. I have Muslims I have friends who are Muslims who are married to Christians. When it is Ileya, I know the number of rams I buy for my fathers, my uncles, my mothers, my aunts, because you don't have any issue with religion here. Because we all know that there's only one God, only one Allah, and to Him we come from, and to Him we shall return. We bring nothing, and we shall take nothing away. So what are we worrying ourselves for? The youth of Nigeria today are shortchanged. When I left secondary school, I had admission into 2 universities. In fact, 4 or so. 2 in Nigeria, 2 abroad. But I choose to stay in Nigeria because then virtually everybody wanted to go into university in Nigeria because the universities were good. I went to Isuka. I was admitted to university in California, University of Southern California. I didn't go because I was proud to be a youth in Nigeria and in Nigerian university. But now, what do we have? The average Nigerian youth even wants to go to a university that is less than the secondary school here in Nigeria. because they want to get out of Nigeria. And people leave university, leave secondary school, leave the polytechnic, leave tertiary institutions, and they walk the streets without a job. I left university and came out and found 5 jobs. And it was difficult for me to choose. Eventually I chose one. After 3 or 4 years I got married. But now what do you have? You have youths who are well read, who have spent good time in the university or in the polytechnic or in the colleges of education and come out with good passes. And then they are all over the street looking for jobs. And it pains me to the marrow. Because as a senator of the Federal Republic, I know the number of applications I get. It runs into thousands. And I look at the possibility of they getting jobs. And the percentage that will get jobs is small. And it pains me. And I ask myself, where are we going? Are we facing the right direction? Are leaders doing the right things? Are the youths holding the leaders to doing the right things? And I want to say, with all respect, that the answer is no. And it starts with the electoral process. Until we have an electoral process that throws up the right kind of people who are willing to serve, people who are willing to dedicate themselves to the service of their community, of their town, of their state, of the country, we will move nowhere. What politicians do now is to look for money, to wait for elections. And you know what they do anyway. I'm not saying all politicians are bad, but that is the system that is being sustained. That is the system that must change. Baba Olawa's house is still in Okeado there, with a low fence, probably a 4-bedroom house or 5. But his name will forever remain indelible, remembered. So let us all sit down together, think together, work together, go to school together. Anybody who says book is a sin, to my mind, does not know what he's saying. Some of the greatest civilizations we've ever had in this world came from the Muslim world. In Egypt, the pyramids they built, the scientists are still looking for how it is done, because it is cool right under there. And where they bury the mummies are still as fresh as they were buried. And how did they build it? The mathematicians of those days were from Timbuktu. The Mansa Musas. They were great Islamic scholars. So why should anybody say a book is sin? This is an Islamic scholar, Professor Olagoke, who has all the degrees in the world. He can stand toe to toe, face to face with any scholar in the world, and he's a Muslim. And there are so many of them like that, including the Amir, who is a doctor. The youth, the challenge you have is that you must rescue yourself. You must demand for good leadership. You must demand for service. When somebody comes to you with money, don't take his money. Ask him questions. What has he got to do for you? What plans has he got? This country makes 4 trillion. The budget this year is 4.897 trillion naira. That is a stupendous amount of money. Every month, everybody goes to Abuja, line up and get the money. And what happens to the money? In February, the amount of money that goes to Akwa Ibom State because of their oil wells is 30 billion naira. Bayelsa 21, Delta 10, Ondo 8, Oyo with all our population 6.5. But what do? We have abandoned productive activities. Now people see the money from Abuja as free money. In those days when taxes were enforced, the farmers are so very, very particular to know what will be done with their money, because the taxes were taken from the produce, cocoa, palm kernel and all that. And if you don't pay your tax, they bring you here, they bring you to the top of Magbo, put you in the sun. So if somebody puts you in the sun for not paying your tax, and you pay your tax and somebody steals it, will you not be ready to do whatever you can to with that person? But now the industries are dead. The factories are closed. The services are dead. And our youths are walking the streets. I challenge you that you must, because the salvation lies in your hand. We are passing away. How many more years? We all ask for long life anyway. Baba, but the challenges are with you. I'm so glad to see very bright faces here. Initially, I wanted to speak Yoruba, but I said everybody here, I'm sure, understands English, because you've all gone to school and you want to contribute. I want to congratulate you today and thank the Amir and the Council of the Majlis Kudam for organizing this symposium on the 41st anniversary of the Majlis. They could have organized an eating occasion, or something like that. But they have organized something that affects your future. And by the grace of the Almighty Allah, Ẹ̀mí á ṣe ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àjọ̀dún yìí o. And lágbára Ọlọ́run, lágbára Èdùmàrè, ní ìwòyí ọdún tó ń bọ̀, ilẹ̀ wa Nàìjíríà, Ọlọ́run á ti bá wa ṣe wá túnṣe o. Mi ò gbọ́ mi, Ọlọ́run bá wa túnṣe o. I thank you very much for giving me the honor. I want to apologize for being late because I had to go to a couple of places and I'm still dashing to a couple of places. But this is a privilege for me, honestly, to be amongst you. Because religion is a potent force for development, not for causing trouble. It's a potent, look at all the bright faces, young faces, bubbling with energy. ẹ ṣe ni ojúbọ our youth ní paríparí kí má gbàsìkò yín ọlọ́run á máa wà pẹ̀lú yín ọlọ́run á máa dábò ẹ̀bò yín mo fẹ́ kí n tó lọ màá fún yín ní ẹ̀bùn kékeré kan in support of your anniversary. I will send you a check for 250,000 naira. Thank you.
We are grateful to Senator Lanley and his entourage. And we say, may Allah reward you abundantly and beautifully for your sacrifice and gift to Majlisam Ahmadiyya. Thank you all for your attention and your patience. I'm sorry we are not done with guest speakers. We still have 3 more. The Director of Youth in Oyo State. Yes. Madam. Okay. Our dear mother, the Director of Youth in Oyo State, have some words of wisdom and admonition for the youth. We are grateful for her presence and honoring us with her presence. The Lord reward you abundantly.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi.
Our honorable chairman for this occasion, the President of Ijtema, my honorable President, National Youth Council of Nigeria, our fathers are behind here, the invited guests here, here. My mothers and sisters at the other side of the podium, members of Majlis Ijtema Nigeria, build the youth, build the youth. Firstly, I want to thank Almighty God for this particular occasion. And I want to congratulate the Majlis Ijtema Nigeria for organizing this important program. I'm sorry, I forgot to recognize our special speaker for today. I thank you so much for the justice you have done to the particular topic of today. May God Almighty Allah will continue to increase in knowledge. I want to congratulate my sister Mama Kia for this important occasion. And I want to say that Agency for Youth Development, I'll just say Agency for Youth Development, is an organ of the state government that supervises activities of voluntary youth organizations in Oyo State. And I want to say categorically here today that kudos to you, and I want to admonish to continue in that manner. And I want to say that the topic of today is highly relevant. It's very much appropriate. Considering the fact that what is happening not only in Nigeria but throughout the world. So I want to enjoin all the youth here today to spread the gospel of the knowledge you have acquired through this topic today and spread it to other fellow youths that are not here. I want to say that God Almighty, Allah will continue to be with everybody. And I want to say that Majlis Sudan Ahmadiyya will be going stronger and stronger. I want to say that the youth of Nigeria and indeed all over the world will continue to let peace reign so that Nigeria and the whole world at large will be a better place to live on. Ma salam.
Our dear mother. The next guest speaker is the president, representative of the Christian Association of Nigeria Youth Wing. You're welcome, sir.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I want to say good afternoon to everyone and to recognize our Baba and all protocol duly observed. It is a real privilege to be here, and we want to appreciate the Almighty God for giving all of us the gift of life. So many people have congratulated our speaker and thank him so much, but I want to seek the indulgence of the chairman to plead with you, sir, to make available the copy of this wonderful speech. When that one is done, I want to plead